It's the Frequently Asked Questions podcast, Fuzzy and Quincy. Fuzz, we're with a Chicago native.
Well, okay, you break it down.
We're with a reinventor.
Definitely reinventor.
He has a lax about himself. He's
Low
never,
key.
but
Definitely.
you know what? He's always been the same. He's been the same
Since he was a kid.
Now he's a grown
We can say
man.
we can talk to him on our grown man shit.
Yeah.
We've been knowing him since he was a young little boy.
Dog,
Young boy.
young boy.
Yeah.
We have Young Berg, aka Hitmaka, here at the
Definitely
FAQ
Hitmaka.
podcast.
Yo. Appreciate y'all having me,
bro,
bro.
for real, I'm gonna tell you, we came to your video shoot. Fuzz was at the video shoot.
Yeah, man.
Stopped by, and like you gave us some words, man. Like, cause it's as an artist, when you're doing your thing, or you put something new out there, you don't know who's watching, who's seeing it, but you pulled us to the side. I was like, dog, man, love what y'all doing.
Yeah.
You know,
He didn't say like, because Q and I keep it 100. When everybody talk about the FAQ podcast or frequently asked questions days ago, what they see on Instagram,
Right.
Yeah.
You saw a whole episode,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, he really watched it on YouTube.
No, we thank you.
appreciate that.
Appreciate y'all.
That made
man.
us feel good. We left there kind of happy. We went to Crossroads and spent some money. So yeah,
Nah, I really enjoyed that podcast with y'all and Will I Am. It was real informative. It didn't seem like no fuckery, no bullshit. And I've known y'all for so long. It's just like, of course, it started for me at Instagram, just following both of y'all. But then I'm like, nah, I know my guys always have like a different perspective and there's something to say. So I just dove into the YouTube shit, and man, y'all had me locked in for a few hours, man. I'm almost fucked up the money, so I had to get straight to the studio after that. But it's all good, man.
No, I mean, listen, it's so much to talk to you about, bro. It's Fuzz. I would tell you this. Rest in peace to my mom. I had a going away party leaving Philly. This is 2007 when I came to LA.
when you come to LA, yes sir.
And Berg was there.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, my mom was like, who is that young man over
your mom
there?
was at the party?
My mom was at the party.
She a real G then.
Yeah. My mom and my dad came to the party. He was like, who is that young man over there? Because Berg had these fronts in. But they were like diamonds, and it was like,
Oh, you went to the iced out grill.
Yeah.
my mom was like, I want to meet that man. I want to meet that young man. And I was like, hey mom, this is Berg. Yada yada yada.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll never forget that. You were really nice to my mom.
Rest in peace to moms, man.
Yeah.
It's all good love, man.
Yeah, so we've been on Berg for a minute, man.
Yeah,
sure.
He's always been a young bird.
Yeah.
Then it went to Hitmaka.
Yeah.
How many other names you have?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Like, it went from my first name was Iceberg.
Yep.
And then crazy enough, Eve named me Young Berg. I remember I was in the studio with Eve. This when I was just getting my deal with DMX. We was at Quad Studio, and I was there with X, and then Eve called me Young Berg. Like this when everybody put like Young in front of everything, so she was just like, Young Berg, what's up? And I'm like, oh shit.
So that's
I
how
guess,
it stuck from
yeah.
Eve.
So from there, I moved to LA. I was up under Eve and Troy Carter and all them or whatever. I was a part of Urban Wonder very early when they started. And my first songwriting placement, I wrote the title track to Eve's last album, Evolution. And you can hear, y'all go play it or whatever, you can hear my vocals still on it or whatever. And that was my first songwriting placement ever with Eve.
How old were you?
Man, teens.
Because you in your 30s, but your 30s is not the same
It's
30s,
different,
bro.
It's a little different. It's a little different.
Like you've lived a full life. Like people like, man, when certain people pass, it's like, oh, they passed at this age. It's like, nah, they really, you're not living. You never had a 9 to 5.
Never.
Ever.
My whole life I got my first record deal at 15. So from there, I was the first artist signed a DMX record label, Bloodline off Def Jam. And the crazy shit is, like when you first signed to somebody, like an X was the biggest shit in the world at that time. So you thinking like, man, of course I got a cool advance. I think this is when the checks was big. I ain't had no music, no mixtape or nothing. They gave me like $250,000 in my pocket or whatever as an advance.
You popping?
Yeah, then X gave me a dog, and he was like, Shorty, listen. Here go this dog. Take the dog everywhere. I don't ever want to see you out this fucking dog. And I'm like,
right,
bro, take a dog everywhere? Like, I'm a kid. So, like, I would be like taking a dog everywhere. Like everybody still remembers me from that era. Jazz Young, Leor Cohen, Russell Simmons, Kevin Lyles, which I still do business with all of them to this day. Like my dog was like peeing and taking a shit in front of Leor's office, like for real. But X was so on fire that it didn't even matter. They were just like, all right, come clean it up. That's just Iceberg wilding out. I remember like
15 though?
Yes, that Def Jam building used to be so crazy because, you know, like it was floors. So I had like a crazy bidding war going on before I settled with X. Jay's Hove wanted to sign me. I had a lot of different deals. This is back when Tommy Boy was still out. Wow. Tommy Boy offered me a real big situation. I went with X and like, man, we literally used to go to the Def Jam building every day and just like roll dice, smoke weed, drink in the whole, and just, it was like a club at Def Jam building.
You was like a grown teenager.
Yeah, but where's your family at this point?
See, I was bad. You know what I'm saying? Like my whole thing is that like no, I'm getting better. But the thing is that like I come from a very unconventional like background. Like when I started rapping, my parents was millionaires from the jump.
Wait,
so
your parents, bro? You can't listen, bro. You cannot do that.
Yeah. So my mom had like a chain of very big childcare centers in the city of Chicago and the whole city of Illinois at that point, like the biggest childcare center. And then my dad was director of Chicago Public Schools, and he also had like a major real estate company going on. He's still one of the biggest guys on some like super George Jefferson ass shit. You know what I'm saying? In Chicago,
right so now. You're a silver spoon kind of kid a little bit.
Yeah, I never had a hamburger, a hot dog, a peanut butter and jelly Lunchable. I don't even know what that tastes like in 30-some years of living right now. I've never had a grilled cheese. I've never had
can we
nothing.
send somebody go to Pink's and get him a hot dog?
Never. It won't happen.
Hold up.
What?
It don't matter how much money you put in front of me.
What about grilled cheese sandwich?
I've never had a grilled cheese ever.
Okay, hold on, man.
So, all right, hold up. Okay.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Never.
So, all right, so your mom and dad are rolling in the dough.
They're wealthy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because
wealthy.
I got a homie. Shout out to my man Jamal King. Mm-hmm. He does real estate and he does some stuff in Chicago. He has a couple home, child care centers. So I get it. I hear the numbers. Mm-hmm. It's kind of ridiculous for us.
Okay, we get it.
So, but how do you get? Because if you never had those things, you say you never had a hot dog, you never had grilled cheese. How do you get into rap and your parents are okay with it?
Struggling.
Okay, so look, so this is how it all changed. Shawna from Disturbing the Peace, infamous syndicate, her father is Buddy Guy, which entails them being well off and them being my next door neighbor as a kid. So Buddy
Shawna was well off too?
Yeah, like Buddy Guy is her dad, the Grammy Award winning blues singer. He's like one of the biggest blues singers of all time.
Shawna?
Yes, he done won so many Grammys. Like
getting some head, Shawna.
Yes, bro. Her dad is filthy.
No, he's
like,
legendary.
They were the first ones I seen with the indoor pool, outdoor pool, like the whole move, the whole Ray J moves, all that.
You fucking me up right now.
So so Shawna, she's wealthy, and she's because bro, like when you see Shawna, I thought she was just from the hood. Like we heard she was from Chicago. I'm like, all right, cool.
See, me and Shawna's story is really parallel. She played a big part in my career as well. So this is back in the day. This is like early 2000s, into the 90s. And like, when all that shit was happening, you had to be very authentic to your words and what you meant. Like if you was talking about selling crack, like you really had to be selling crack, like doing it. So I think me and Shawna both took kind of like, well, she did it first because she's older than me, but man, I was just like a rebellious kid. Like I would have preferred to be in the hood on 70th and Winchester selling crack than to be like a kid with like a permit, a learner's permit, driving a Range Rover. You know what I'm saying? I was that in love with music that it was just like, I don't even care about what's happening in suburbs. I dropped out of school very early too. I think I didn't even make it past the 9th grade. So,
wait, hold on. Your parents are highly in education.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you dropped out of school. They probably like, bruh.
Yo, I was a bad kid. Like I wanted to be like in the mix. Like I was a rapper. So it was just like, and first and foremost, my parents didn't believe in me doing the music at all. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because of their background, how they was raising me and all the other stuff. They were like, what that bullshit? Hell no. So that kind of like scarred me, and I just ran to the city and was just with hood.
So all the stuff they told you not to do, you did.
Bro,
rebellious, yeah.
When he's saying this, that's why you're so cool with Jay Irvin.
Yeah.
So Jay Irvin, Dr. J, was his dad, but Jay was in South Philly. Like he was in the hood growing up. Yeah.
Jay just hit me this morning. Shout out to Jay too.
That's okay. All right.
It makes sense. The parallel.
Yes, it makes sense. So all right, let's go back. Your mom and dad, super wealthy. You're the kid when mom and dad go away. You having the big parties at the house.
Yeah.
You're Richie Rich.
For the most part, yeah. But at the same token, like, I really didn't care about none of that. Like, I was locked in at music. I think probably about 7th grade, I was locked in.
Who was that? Okay, at 7th grade, paint the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that artist that you got inspired? Like, who was cracking? Like, I want to be like.
I think that early off, man, you know, Big, Pac. Then you got to see kid artists like everything that JD did with Criss Cross and all that other stuff. Like, I remember playing the Criss Cross video game, like where you missed the bus, it was on Sega and all that other stuff. Like, that's how throwback it is. So and then from there on a child kind of like star level, I think people don't give him his roses, but I think that every kid wanted to be Little Bow Wow.
For sure.
Yeah, Bow Wow.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on fire.
He was ridiculous, like to the point that like me and Bow Wow like had like super duper beef as a kid, because I was like, yo, like DMX and like JD and all them used to like put us against each other and like say different things or whatever, and I'm like, this nigga don't write his raps. I write all my raps. The rap write his rap. Like,
you already knew.
I was deep into credits and I was deep into all that. You know what I'm saying? So, and present time today, we all grown now. Me and Bow working on some records right now. I think I'm the person that can really like get him back on that, you know what I'm saying, radio spot where he need to be. So we all in motion.
Dang. You messed this up, because all right. So your mom, all right. So how do you get from your mom and dad?
Right.
I'm rebelling. You said your dad was part of the school district?
Yeah, like when I was in like 9th grade, like I was selling weed and doing all type of crazy stuff.
Didn't have to
at all. My dad used to like. My dad was the director of Chicago Public Schools, so as I'm getting kicked out of one high school, like my dad is coming to get me, and like he's the director. Like that shit was crazy, yo. Like
I cannot tame this dude.
I probably went to. I only went to 9th grade is where it cut off for me. I probably went to 4 high schools in that 1 year.
What part of Chicago are you from?
I'm from the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
And then I moved to the south suburbs of Chicago. So like my whole like growing up is in the south suburbs of Chicago, which is now like the hood, but back then it was lit. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And from there, shit, I got a different upbringing too. So this is what's crazy about my life. You know, my parents got a divorce when I was young, and I was one of those kids, like, because of course my parents were wealthy and stuff. Like, I hated to see any other man with my mother. So like my mom was still young too. So like when my parents split, she was trying to reestablish her life, and I was just like the problem child. Like, she would be getting kisses. I go in her bathroom. She had like the brown gel. I throw that shit at the nigga from the next floor. Like, I was terrorizing her. And from there, I was just like, yo, I want to go live with my dad. And at that point, when my dad and my mom got divorced, it didn't work out good for my dad. So like my mom kept everything, the house, the cars, and my dad went back to the hood and lived in one of his buildings that he owned or whatever.
Wow.
So I grew up on 81st and Ellis on the east side of Chicago. Like, I'm from like middle school into high school.
Yeah. Oh man, so crazy. So you go from, you know, you getting kicked out of high schools,
right.
You get with DMX, right? Like, who takes you? Like, who is taking you to these places?
This story is crazy. So at first I never would tell these stories or whatever, because like it was in my rear view and like so much crazy stuff happened. But like I'm older now and it's just a part of my journey. So when I was selling crack and doing all the crazy dumb shit, I ended up linking with these guys. They were called Infrared at the time, and they transitioned. Their name was LEP after that. So like it was some street dudes that had a bunch of bread, and they just took us all around. They took us to New York. They took us to LA. I was in LA doing a bunch of different other stuff. I think the Lakers had won a championship or whatever. We was out there. It used to be a club out here called Luna Park. And like they paid like $600 to get me in Luna Park the night that the Lakers won. Dre was in the club, Kobe, fucking Jay-Z, everybody. And like I was just like a little kid in there. And from there, I just got a bunch of offers and a bunch of deals.
What?
Like everybody wanted to sign me. My whole demo was produced by Kanye West and Bugs. And
what?
Yeah, like I had Jesus Walks on my demo. That beat before Jesus Walks ever became Kanye's song, Jesus Walks.
To another song.
What was your concept to Jesus Walks? Like, or that
I was just selling. I had more bricks than anybody than Pablo Escobar. Like, yo, like I was, because this was that era when it was just straight bars, the Locks, you know what I'm saying, Fabulous, all the people that I look up to, and I had the backing, so that's how I was coming. I was a street dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Young though.
Yep. And so I meet DMX here. I'm in LA. This stylist dude, Eve's stylist at the time ends up bringing me to Paramount Pictures. Funny, we at Paramount Studio right now. Yeah. And they brought me to Paramount Pictures, and DMX was shooting What These Bitches Want from a nigga video.
Crazy.
So, like, he had like a 3-day shoot or whatever. They bring me there. Aaliyah's there, Method Man, Kevin Lyles. Everybody is just there at the video. So I go into meet DMX for the first time. He walks out with a bunch of bitches out the trailer, and he's like, they like, yo, this is Iceberg. Blah, blah, blah. He like, oh yeah, I heard about you, shorty. I'm finna go do this. And he opened his hand. He had a bunch of weed in his hand, and he was like, I'm gonna see you later. And so he went, smoked this weed, and they came back and got me to the trailer. And so he like, yo, so go ahead, spit something for me. So I go off like on some twisted shit. I stick on up in the field with this hand, smoking film, so they hemp y'all. He like, shorty, slow down. I don't know what the fuck you saying. So then after that, switched the flow up, kicked like 40 bars for him. And he was like, after I got done rapping, the whole trailer erupted. It was women in there. It was going crazy. He like, shorty, I'm gonna sign you. It's not gonna be fast, but I'm gonna sign you. Come back tomorrow and we gonna hang out some more. And so I came back to the video shoot tomorrow. When I got to the set at Paramount, my demo was banging out of DMX shit like the loudest it possibly could go.
Really?
Yep. And I would never forget, like I was sitting down at Paramount Studios or whatever, just on the sidewalk or whatever, and Kevin Lyles walked up to me, he like, man, you ready for your life to change? Your life changes after this day right now.
Crazy.
And that shit.
And you're 15.
14 at that time.
14 years old.
I just didn't forget school. He dropped out.
Yeah.
So what are your parents like? Because Q and I are parents.
Yeah.
So my daughter is 19. Like, so what do they like? You just leave and they just can't.
Well, at that point, I'd already ran away. You know what I'm saying, and didn't care about what nobody was saying. So I was living with the street dudes. They had their own makeshift studio. Like it was in the south side of Chicago, so I would live at the studio. Yeah. So at that point, like going to school was like whatever. Like you know what I'm saying. And I ain't gonna lie. Like I was really a bad kid. Like I think I probably got like, even being well off, my dad would probably give me like $8 a day for lunch money or some shit like that. I would literally walk out my house, go buy a nickel bag of weed or go half on a nickel bag of weed with one of my homies, then go to the corner store, the liquor store, have a crackhead go in there and buy me a half pint of Seagram's gin, and I go buy a quart of juice, and I would drink the whole half pint of Seagram's gin on a bus on the way to school and walk in and be lit. And that's how my day started.
Bruh. This dude is
hard time.
Different. This dude
Didn't
is
have to
different.
be there.
Didn't have to.
None of that.
How's your relationship with your folks now?
Great. You know, I wish me and my mom were closer. We're not as close as we possibly could be. And that's just from time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't know my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, from getting that deal to all the shit that transpired from there, like we weren't close because she never wanted me to do music. And then when I popped up as Young Berg in 2008, then we kind of started rekindling our relationship, but so much time had elapsed. And then if you look at it now, 2021, so much more time has elapsed. But me and my father, we best friends. My father's my business manager. He handles everything for me.
Dope.
Maybe him and mom need to go like family therapy.
I hope, man.
Maybe, you know.
You ever done therapy?
No, but it's like I'm grown now, so I don't, you know, like I can't, like I look, she my mom, but it ain't like I was coddled. You know, you gotta understand, I live with my dad my whole entire life up into being an adult. So it's like, in those situations, what's weird about the dynamic is that the boy usually stays with the mother, and it's like, I always love my mama. You know what I'm saying? My mama fed me. She cut my sandwich up in fours and took the crust off my grilled cheese or whatever y'all talking about. I don't got them stories. Yeah. It was just hard times. It was just like, I compare how I grew up to like how fucking Boys in the Hood was with Lawrence Fishburne and his son. Like, I'm the king, you the prince. And that's just how it was, you know what I'm saying? And I was raised by my dad, which is really admirable, you know what I'm saying? And I respect him for that, for stepping up to the plate and taking care of me.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
I just have opposite. Like, I'm really close to my mom because I didn't know my father.
Yeah.
You lost your mom.
Yeah.
So you wish, like, I know how Q's thinking right now. You're like, I wish my mom was still here.
Oh,
like,
yeah. No,
but I understand your position too. Like, therapy fixes a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's gonna come to pass. I'm doing a documentary on my whole life, so I think that'll be the therapy for when the camera get in front of us, you know, and all that stuff.
Because I mean, the only people that can really, I can't relate to your life. This is there's other people who's lived these kind of, like, who is somebody, or who are people that you go to. Because you can't talk to regular people, like people that have a 9-to-5 or a regular life. You've never really had that. So who are your peers, or who are your people that you able to be like, yo, dog, this is crazy right now. I'm going through this. You know this. You know what I mean?
It ain't there.
Really?
Maybe 1, 2. It's close friends that knew me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe my business partners, Tiffany and Billy J, you know what I'm saying? Because they've been around me for my whole pretty much young Berg to Hitmaka career. But other than that, like, I don't have much friends. I don't have nothing. Like, all this shit is like phony, this industry shit, you know what I'm saying? So I learned that at a very, very young age. Like, because this what people don't understand. I'm sure we going to get to that. But this is what the funny thing is. I'm still young Berg. I just changed my name and put the product out there as a different name and flooded the system so crazy to where it's like, surprise. Like, I kind of like pulled a trick on the game because the game had shut me out over stuff that didn't have nothing to do with me. It was like me being a victim in certain situations and not having the right people around me and the proper backing that put me in bad situations. All my records that I've ever dropped as an artist have went platinum. Wow. I was in the game very briefly, but I dropped 3 singles and all the motherfuckers is multi-platinum and all of them went #1 and then shit, me and Ray J sold 10 million copies with that song Sexy Can I. So I mean, it wasn't really like I didn't have good work. It's just like they didn't want it from me. It just wasn't cool to get it from me. So I kind of like have to deal with the fact, and people got to deal with it too. Like, it's mad niggas that done diss me and use me as punchlines and bars or whatever that I done gave hits to. Yeah. And I still coexist and I go to the studio and I make the song. I just want the bag. Like, I know what it is right now. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I'm not here to really make friendships or whatever. Like, if we catch a cool vibe and I respect you and I'm able to learn something from you and grow, you know what I'm saying? And we can vibe like that, then cool. But like, I don't go to no clubs. I don't party. I don't kick it. You want to see me, you got to come here. Hence why we here. Right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Fuzz, see, me and Fuzz are opposites. Fuzz has really great relationships, like a lot of them.
The connector.
He's the connector. If you got, please follow Fuzzy. He's the connector.
For sure.
Right? I'm, on the other hand, I'm with my family. I'm like, Fuzz, if I don't have to go out, I don't want to. I don't want to go out. Because to your point, you saw how people were like, oh, we love you, to.
You thought I had Ebola, nigga. I'm talking about nobody wanted me around. Them was some real, like, that's why I'm like, man, like, I'm built, like, I'm like Teflon. Like, that's why right now in this phase of my career, like, it's just so easy and it's still just like, I'm just so like, I'm not mad, but just like, man, like, I'm gonna work harder than anybody. I'm gonna do more than any of these niggas because one, I know what it feel like to be up here and then like do a nosedive. Yeah. And I know what even more so than that, I know what it took to climb back up and claw back up to be where we at right now. Yeah. Like, and that's what I want to like influence people for. I think that my career is just a whole like big testimony. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really can do whatever you want as long as you put that work in and keep God first, you know? For real.
Let's go back to Kanye West, man. Because like, as we was talking, you like, oh yeah, Kanye West produced my first demo. Like, yeah, whatever.
I've known Kanye for so long. I've known Kanye since Kanye lived on, I think it was 95th and Western. He lived across the street from Harold's Chicken or whatever, and we used to just go to his house. And this is like early Kanye, Go Getters, GLC, Shayla G, all that shit.
Bag. You on the Chicago bag. Yeah.
So like, man, like, I was really like the young killer. Like, I used to be the guy to like get him. Like, old dudes would come around and it was like, get him. I lived in Lupe Fiasco house with him while he made food and liquor. Chili, all these people is my peoples, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, Lupe know me, like even like people see me like, man, Young Berg, even right now, like when I came out in 2000 whatever, and it was like oh, he just like a cute kid with a cute hook or whatever. Like, but I was really writing and producing all that shit. Like, every R&B feature that's ever on my album or around me, and I did it with Ray J, and all my singles were with people that nobody knew. They were all just people that were around me. I wrote all them records. Like, so nobody really knew it. They probably thought I was just a product like a Lil Zane or something like that. With no disrespect to Zane, because that's my boy. But like, you know what that looked like aesthetically. Okay, we got the light-skinned kid. Let's give him this. Let's put a bunch of girls around him. And it really wasn't none of that. Like, I really was like the architect behind the scenes. Like, all the producers that was on my album, they were all guys that I found personally. Like, this back when Beat CDs was out still.
Wow. So you were doing it before you... Like, you were writing and producing before you knew it was like a thing.
Yeah, my first writing placement is on Evolution. Hold on, when did Eve album come out? Let me Google this right now, yo. Evolution, yo.
I should know.
Like, go ahead, bro.
Probably 2005. Evolution, 2005.
So, he was making money though.
That's just crazy. Like,
still a big deal.
while you're looking for that, Berg, is it hard for you, knowing how talented and how much work you put in, that people who don't even have the balls to go for their dreams are criticizing you?
Bro, no.
Yeah.
You think I'm still young Berg? I done been through that fire. You think anybody can say whatever they want to say about me now? Like, I'm far gone. Like, I'm millions up now. Like, it's all. It's like
you put in your 10,000 hours.
Are we crazy? I've sold 77 million records. Like, I don't even know like I don't even know how to say that to somebody. Like, you know, without being in an interview. And Evolution was 2002. That's crazy. So yeah, I've sold 77 million records. Like, and literally. Literally, I got the plaque bigger than me, like for real, and it's still going right now. Like I probably got 12% of the real estate on urban and rhythmic radio right now with so many different releases. Last year I had 220 something releases. So I mean, I don't know, God working in a crazy way in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just really blessed, man, for real.
Yeah. Let's talk about the process of you writing and producing, because I've seen it hands-on, and you have a team, or you're really orchestrated. Like, I feel like you're the conductor. And I've seen you, not like that, and you go and what's your process of what's the hit maker process?
So I think that this is a real good conversation, because people, you know what I'm saying, like, they didn't grow up in the era that we grew up in. You know what I'm saying? People are unaware. There's a lot of young kids that don't know that Quincy Jones never played an instrument on Thriller, but he's still the producer of the album. Yeah. So the thing is with me is that it's evolved over time. Like, there was a time, like, when I first got on, like, all my demos was me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would throw the auto-tune on 0 and go in there and sing the whole shit down and do all the other stuff. But as, like, I got closer with more creative people, and I'm just a smart dude, like, I'm not going to sit here just and be greedy, because I know that I can accomplish something. It might take me 4 hours to do it, but if I could bring in a Goldie or bring in Ivory Scott, Krishan, or somebody like that I work with that are my partners, it might take me 8 minutes to get that same idea off. So to me, the way it happens is that it's many different ways, but for flips or something like that, because, like, I constantly made a decision and an effort probably like 4.5 years ago. I'm about to be the Puff Daddy of this generation. I'm about to go flip all my favorite songs that I grew up on.
And you do that.
And change the way radio sound, change the way the whole shit is. And, like, we done changed it. Like, it's an actual fact. So from there, like, I'll go and get with, like, a Paul Cabin, and which is my guy who plays everything for me. And I'll just be like, yo, like, I want to remake A. Marie, Rule the World, or whatever, or why don't we fall in love? He'd be like, all right, bet. He'll go play the music. I'll be like, I don't like that. I do like that. He mostly nails it on the first time. Then I'll come back. I'll get with a Cardiac or OG Park or T. Romano or anybody that I work with, and whoever I think the bounce or the vibe will work on, and then I send them that. We'll flush the idea. Me and Cardiac work in a crazy way, because he'll be at home. He don't come to the studio pretty much. He got his own studio at the crib. So, like, he'll do it. He'll be like, yo, you want to keep the drums OG or you want to flip them? I'll be like, man, let's keep the drums OG, because I'm going to write something crazy that's going to be so different left from what it is. Do that. He'll send me, like, little phone clips of him adding the drums on it or whatever. And I'm like, yo, I like that. Let's take it out. No, let's add live bass on it. And then we'll get here to the studio, and then whoever I'm working with at the time will create a song to it. I have certain people where I gotta be really, really hands-on and be like, yo, I want this, I want that. And there's certain people like Krishan that could come in, and I could be like, man, I think it should be this. And he'd be like, nah, I think it should be that. And he'll just go in the booth and just dumb a whole song out. And then I'll dissect it, help put it together or whatever. Then my job still continues as the producer, because after we make this demo that I love, I gotta go sit at Chris Brown's house for 10 hours and hang out with the guys, or go see Tyler Allison, or call this person or that person, all these relationships that I have, do the song and dance in front of them, pitch them on a record, have them cut the record, structure it. Oh, I think I want somebody else to be on it. Then I gotta go chase down the next feature, hit the feature. Then from there, when we start to get to the finish line, I'm turning in the record that I believe is great to Jason Joshua, and then he mixes the record, and then that's pretty much the whole process.
You're the Tyler Perry, you're the Oprah Winfrey. No, real rap, right? Because Quincy Jones, right? Like,
it's similar like that. I was watching a lot of Martin Scorsese, like, behind the scenes stuff like that. Like, I'm really like a film director. I don't want it to sound corny, and then, like, I'm the director of the film, and then my engineer source who's sitting in there, he's like my DP, and he's the one that sees it, knows it, how to get the idea out, and while he's doing that, and then everybody else is just movie stars and just or writers of the movie or whatever. I'm just the guy that knows how to put everything together to deliver the final product.
How important or how expensive is it to have your tag on a record?
It's pretty damn expensive, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, he has a tag that if you know it comes on the beginning. Tell everybody what the tag is.
It's just say Hitmaka. It's me saying it.
Right. Yeah. So I know that's important for artists. I know it's important for labels because they know it's the cheat code. Like it's like Hitmaka's a part of this. It's probably gonna, it's 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be a slapper.
Yeah.
So how many times have people tried to just say it's your? Have anybody tried to use your tag and it wasn't your record?
Yeah, several times. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really do that. There's not one record that has came out that I haven't physically touched. It's not like I just got a dope tag and niggas like, oh, you could be in Malibu and be like, yo, send me your tag, I'm gonna put it on there, and cause it get too tricky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and I personally, I don't know, like I'm driving, I'm just making music that I like. And it's turning out to be music that the whole world likes. So without me being involved, I just feel like it kind of takes away. And it's just like, you know, I've overcome so many obstacles that people can't wait to say something. Like, when you winning so crazy, it gotta be a reason why you winning. No, it's because of this or it's because of that. So I mean, anybody that's ever worked with me, they really understand it. Like, even to up and come, like right now, present day, like when I left Atlantic Records, damn, we got to get to all that or whatever. Yeah. When I left Atlantic, like I came to Empire and I'm like, yo, like in my mind, I'm like, everybody's watching me because I just left this big corporation. I think my salary at the time was damn near like $700,000. I had a song deal with them. I had a label deal with them. I had every deal you possibly could have. Like, nobody's done it like me. In this era, nobody's doing it like me, done it like me. I've been doing this for the last 4.5, 5 years. Nobody really has song deals. Like, I brought that back. Like, I'm the only producer that really has song deals at every record company. Man. Like, everyone. So, I mean, it was a real effort, man. Like, and I knew that I had to do something amazing. And it was just, luckily enough, Young Blue was the vessel for that. Like, we met in Miami. I remember meeting Blue at the airport one time. We exchanged numbers. We never really connected. Then we met in Miami because Blue worked with the Dream Chasers, and they brought him to a meat meal camp, and we ended up working. We ended up cooking that song. At that point, I didn't tell Blue. I ain't tell nobody. Only me and Ghazi knew that I was leaving Atlantic and coming to Empire. So from there, I couldn't say nothing. Then when I switched the deal, I'm like, yo, my first piece of work out this building has to be phenomenal, just to shut everybody up. The people that thinking, oh, well, he's using the resources that Atlantic is giving him, or this, that, blah, blah, blah. Whatever narrative. Yeah.
No.
I came back, and the first record that we did, that put out from scratch at Ghazi and them studio, you can go look on my Instagram and watch how we created The Baddest. I came up there and I set that fucking studio on fire, and our first record is a sure shot hit.
Yeah.
It's out of here.
All right, you said 4 or 5 years it's been popping off, right? And you like, now you have the formula. Fuzz asked you, like, how do you do the formula? Now you got everybody, and you do this. Cardiac's from Jersey, right?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Cardiac. What was the first, like, oh snap, it's working? What's the first 2, 3, like, I got something now?
So the first thing was, I was living in Miami, and I ended up meeting like a girl, like, cause I'm like, that's the gift about me. Like, I really, like, if you're talented in some type of way, and we can link up, and it don't matter, as long as we got a good engineer, we can make a song. So I ended up linking with this girl, and she did a bunch of demos for me, and like we would like just work, and this was in a dark space for me when nobody was fucking with me. So I moved from there to Atlanta, and somehow, some way, I got in touch with Vincent Herbert's cousin. His name is Jers, and I sent him a record, and he got it to Vince, he got it to Tamar, and she ended up loving it. And this is when Tamar was on fire. This is like early in the Tamar vibe or whatever. And they flew me to LA. They put me on a first class flight out here to LA. They put me in a Sofitel. And I went to the studio, and I got to the studio and was like, fuck, I don't have the files to the song she wants to cut. So now she looking at me like I'm crazy or whatever. So at that time, I made a bunch of songs, and I played their records. Shout out to, rest in peace, LaShawn Daniels. He was there as well. And I ended up doing this record. Well, Love and War came first, and then I did this record called The One that was like a Notorious Big flip sample or whatever. I did that record, and that kind of brought me back to LA.
Because I always wondered why she it was different for her to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was you.
Yeah, but that I've told you I've been on the flip remake vibe since then, and that look how long ago that was. That was before people was doing it. And what's so crazy, they didn't allow me to keep my tag on the song. Like they keep it, it's on the YouTube version of the video, but like on the song that went to radio and the song blew up went #1, they took my tag off the song and all the other stuff. But that was just growing pains, and you know what I'm saying, taking it there, and that would prompt me to move back to LA.
So Tamar Braxton's was first to believe in you. What is the sweet spot of doing flips for you? Like, is there an era? Is there a golden era for R&B or hip hop that you live in? Like,
for me, I love all type of shit. I can dive all the way back to the 70s, you know what I'm saying, 60s. But for right now, what's going on, I think the sweet spot, damn, and y'all finna run off with the game, but I'm gonna give it to y'all because I'm on this podcast with my guys. I would keep it mid 90s, early 2000s.
Okay. Is it okay?
That makes sense because there's a lot of things you'll flip, and I'm like, I know this, but I don't remember where I know it
Exactly,
from.
yeah.
You do that a lot, and I'm like, what the fuck? I know this song, and I'll have to look, like dig in. I'm like, oh, okay, that's where you get it.
Just with the sampling, right? And I always wanted to know this. Like, you have to give up a lot of money for sampling, right?
Yeah, but I'm replaying all this shit though. So it's not a master sample. Like you've never heard me do a joint to where it's just like I took the shit off the YouTube. No, I'm sending it to my guy and he's replaying it. What's crazy, I did have one, and that was we was talking about the A. Marie record. 2 Chainz dropped a song with Ariana Grande like about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I did the record, and it was a flip of A. Marie. Me and Cardiac did it, and they wouldn't clear the sample. And so the record y'all hear now, it sound like the sample, but my dog Paul Cabin replayed everything, and that's that record. And shout out to that record. I think that record's platinum now. Appreciate 2 Chainz, man.
It's casual.
Just casual.
It's
no, for sure.
Just casual. I mean, it's so you don't know this, right? But it's just that dark time had to be dark, right? And it had to be tough because at that time you were probably in your 20s, right? And at 20 or in your 20s, you live more than people that live at 60, 70 years old.
Yeah, you've seen some things.
Yeah.
You know, we've heard the stories of, you know, just the different.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. What am I missing?
Just some bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, some bullshit.
How do you stay focused now? Like, because, you know, we've talked before, and you're like, yo, dog, I got to watch myself. I'm moving a certain way. LA is
it's crazy.
a very special kind of town.
You got to keep your head on the swivel.
For sure.
How do you do that and still maintain and still, you know what I mean?
I'm just in it now, so it's just become a part of life. But I mean, honestly, it's back to the vibe that you was on. I stay out the way. Like, you really got to see me at, like, the studio, or you going to see me with your girl at Tao, Crustaceans, you know what I'm saying, Katana, Nobu, or something like that. Like, that's the only time you can really see me out, or at the airport or something like that, on the way to me go to another state to, like, I don't go out. So, I mean, that's just my vibe, and I'm securityed up 24/7, you know what I'm saying? That just come with it, you know?
Yeah.
You said it's kind of like a movie, right? Like you Martin Scorsese. Have you ever thought of, like, man, if I could do this and I'm doing it, I could do movies.
Yeah, I mean, I do truly believe that. My first, like, taste at it was, like, J-Lo has this movie, I think, it ain't come out, but her and L.A. Rita took a real liking to me and, like, really took me under his wing, and I was executive producing the soundtrack to Jennifer Lopez movie, but that didn't really pan out. Some other stuff didn't have nothing to do with me, but I could see myself doing it, but I don't, like, I truly believe, like, I'm, like, L.A. Reid, like, for real, just in a younger version type of vibe.
Well, that's great to look up to, because L.A. Reid is a beast at it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
The run he had, like, come on, man, he's an executive, but
I'm a music man.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just pretty much what it is. Like, I know, and I've been doing this so much, like, coming here and just making these records. I know what's a hit. I know what it ain't a hit. I know what's gonna take to make it a hit. I just got a formula that's just, like, undefeated right now.
Did you ever have a song that you thought was a hit and it just probably didn't go?
Yeah, shit. all of them. I mean, multiple of them. Like, but at the same token, I don't think like that no more. Like when I do it and I let it go in the universe, I just let it go. Yeah, because you'll put so much weight on yourself thinking that, and then that could fuck up how you really work. You know what I'm saying? And then you could start playing mind games for yourself when it's really a bigger picture. Did they go to radio ads the same day that Post Malone or somebody else went out? That's why you're not number one ad. There's so many variables that are added into it that as a songwriter, producer, that you might not be aware of. So but once I transferred to the executive side and started working with Atlantic, I was like, oh shit, like 87 things have to come together and combine at once for one thing to really work out the way it's supposed to. And from there, I was just like, you know what? I can't feel personal about it. After I get paid.
Hey man, business done.
Yeah.
What's the biggest payday you think you've seen for one song?
Probably Big Sean Bounce Back. That was like the first song too that was like, okay, this shit is out of here. Jeremiah ended up changing my life, man. I didn't know Jeremiah. I did Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, I did Love and Hip Hop, and that shit was a whirlwind. And they had me dating this girl, and I'm not gonna talk bad about her. They had me dating this one girl, Hazel, whatever. Shout out to her and her family or whatever. Like Mona put that shit together. Like it wasn't like a real thing. Like they scripted it and did whatever. And that relationship ended up introducing me to Jeremiah, because you wouldn't even believe all this time we both being from Chicago, I never met Jeremiah while I was young Berg. And it took for me like in 2014 to be doing Love and Hip Hop. Link with Jeremiah. Jeremiah took me on tour with him, YG, and Big Sean. This when Jeremiah had Don't Tell Him and all that shit ringing off. Shit was crazy. And I meet Big Sean on a tour. Shortly after, I end up getting him a bunch of, I come back from tour. I'm on Love and Hip Hop, and I go rent this like 15,000 square foot house. Like I didn't have the money to pay for it or whatever. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was using the house as motivation for me to keep working and keep hustling. Like, man, I gotta pay this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I had this big ass crib, no furniture in it, like that. You know what I'm saying? Just wilding out, getting drunk, throwing girls in the pool. Like every night was a turn up, and Jeremiah, we're in a studio. We're in I made a makeshift studio inside my house in like the movie theater, and literally like my engineer's sitting where you sitting with like a little MacBook, and Jeremiah, we're doing songs, and he's just going in my closet and recording stuff. And we did like 6 songs that night. I had a girl with me and all that. He had some girls with him, and I'm like, man, I'm finna go take it down, my brother. Like I think I'm done. We done did 6 songs. Yeah. He like, I got one more in me. I'm like, shit, all right. And he went in there and he just mumbled, and last night took an L, but tonight I bounced back. I'm like, oh shit, we got it. And then we finished that. I presented that to Big Sean. A lot of people don't know that Jeremiah and myself co-wrote the hook to Big Sean Bounce Back. And Sean redid it. Metro Boomin touched it. Shout out to Smash David. And Sean, he was just like, yo, I'm just want to throw this out. And I'm like, all right, he like, man, I don't know what the temperature is, man. I just want to throw it out. It just feels good right now. I'm like, all right, bet, throw it out. He threw that motherfucker out, and that shit went to #1. It was probably, I think it's his highest charting solo single on the Hot 100. I think it went #2 on the Hot 100. Super Bowl commercials, all type of licensing agreements and all type of stuff or whatever. I remember my dad was like, man, you got royalty. This shit was like $600,000 for Bounce Back, and I was just one check. I was like, oh shit.
Shit.
What?
Yeah. Bro,
That's
the game. Like that's what I want to. Like, what do you tell people that want to inspire to be like a songwriter? Like, what's the #1 thing you would give them advice on? Like on the business side.
On the business side, never do a publishing deal unless you really need it. You know what I'm saying?
You think that's a bad loan to take up front?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I did. Well, my first publishing deal was sweet. I think I probably got this when I was an artist. I got like $3 million, something like that.
What?
And then from there, I wasn't an artist no more. I was just a writer. And my publishing deal at that point with Universal was set up as an artist. So once I stopped doing my artist thing, I entered a new publishing deal. And he got me for the low. Mike Karen got me for the low. Shout out to Mike Karen. That's still my boy. And we still do business, big business to this day. And I'm still a part of his team, you know. And
at Atlantic.
Yep, and it's just been going and you know, I'm happy about it. But never do a publishing deal. Try and get with well, man, you're so accessible now. You know what I'm saying? Twitter, Instagram. If you really popping, like, I ain't gonna lie, like I click that other side or whatever, the DM sometimes, and I click if you mention me or whatever, and I'll see it if it's quality. You just gotta get with the right producer and the right person that you can really mesh well with or whatever, and then that's how you really take it out of here for real.
Damn, dog. So So you would say to a new artist, never sign a publishing
No,
deal?
never. Get you some hits first, and then don't sign a publishing deal. Do an admin deal.
What's the difference between an admin deal and the
Co-publishing? You're selling 50% of your publishing. Admin deal, they just run around and chase your money for you.
He's doing all the
Got it.
administration.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
He still get a line and share them.
I think after this interview, we're just gonna stick around, just probably write a couple
Whatever
words.
y'all want to do, man.
So, where's your legacy? Like, what do you grew up one way with your family and split. Like, you're not married.
No.
Do you
no
want to
kids,
get?
nothing.
Like, where does that fall? Like, where do you feel like? Do you want to settle down anytime soon?
Yeah, I would like to, but man, I'm running. Like, and when I do settle down, I really want to like try and do it wholeheartedly. Just because like I've been a dirtbag my whole life. I ain't never really had no, you know what I'm saying? No girlfriends, no nothing. So I just been turned up my whole entire life.
Nothing wrong with
so
that.
when I
inspired some of them songs though, right?
Yeah, like and ecstasy back in the day or whatever. We used to do ecstasy a lot. But the thing is that, man, when I do it, I want to do it. When I have a kid, since I've been able to survive in my 30s without having a kid, I want it to be with somebody I want to actually start a family with.
Yeah.
So I want to do it right.
This pullout game must be fucking.
That's what I'm about to say. Like,
yo,
dude,
come on, you have
how
sex a lot.
Listen, I'm not saying me, but you probably had more chicks than Fuzz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm just
Fuzzy,
saying because
man.
you're a
I'm
relationship
49
guy.
years old.
Yeah,
man,
you're a
you know what I
relationship
mean?
guy.
Yeah,
No,
I'm a relationship guy.
yeah.
How do you get to this point, this money, this exposure,
No kids.
and no, like not one?
It was written.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to put any wooju on you, but man, that's pretty impressive.
Nah, for sure. I'm pulling out. I'm wrapping it up.
He's a smart man.
Definitely a smart man. Very.
See, I never really had no long-term relationships like that. I think that people end up having kids with someone that they're that comfortable with and dealing with on a long-term time. So it's like, yo, like, if I go raw, if I nut in you, I'm like going to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, whoa, wait, I feel like I'm doing too much. You know what I'm saying? And Nick, shout out to Nick. You know, Nick really rich. So I mean, shit,
He can do that.
Yeah,
Talking about Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
I think he just got
But
somebody else pregnant.
You think you're who?
Yeah, Nick, he's somebody. I don't know.
He told me he was doing it before he did it. I respect him.
Really?
He said he was just, hey, I'm gonna have a harem of kids.
Well,
He has a good reason, though.
He got a real good reason. He got lupus. Well, and he spoke about this
already spoke
publicly.
about it,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I mean, you know, he wanna leave his legacy, like how we were just talking about legacy.
You want to plan your legacy. You don't.
I'm good.
But you think that's by you living with your dad? Is that like a father and son conversation?
Yeah,
that you guys
probably.
had early. You know what I'm saying?
And then I get to see it from all ends. You know what I'm saying? I've been like, man, like I've seen girls triple cross their best friend and do something to get to me. You know what I'm saying? So I just know what everybody's capable of. I've had some scary situations, you know what I'm saying, with me too. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple years ago, like not to speak on the BS, but like how we was talking about LA Dangerous, like a girl that was associated with the people who had something to do with Pop Smoke killing or whatever, like girl came to my house and really like tried to set me up for my life, you know what I'm saying? So like that was like a real situation. Like that was really a scary thing. So it's just like, man, I still got PTSD from that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, you know what I'm saying? I had to sell my house. I ain't like one of these other cats. I owned my crib in Woodland Hills. I had to sell my house. I had to do so many different things or whatever.
Because you didn't want that energy. You got out of the house.
Not only that, I can't live at no house. Like right now, I don't live at a house. I live in Beverly Hills in like a super low key high rise that you would never notice. You got to get on 3-4 different elevators just to get to my spot, and you on candid camera as soon as you walk in. Like that's how I gotta move.
Yeah, no,
Can't even get a house. I mean,
Hell
you could
no.
get a house, but you choose not to.
But because it's like I got 24/7 security already, so it's like when I go home, like I don't want no nigga just sitting, you know what I'm saying, in my guest house. Like I want to be able to really like have my home be somewhere that I'm just like free of everything. So that's the only option.
Does that make you think twice about who you invite into your living quarters?
Yeah, hell yeah. You see how this shit treacherous out here. Like that's some game too. Any upcoming artist, man, stay away from the Airbnbs. Take your ass to the W. Take your ass to the Mondrian. Take your ass to SLS. Don't be in them Airbnbs just because you got 100 niggas with you and you think it's safe like that. It's dark as hell in them Hollywood Hills. It ain't. Luckily, I had cameras or whatever in my crib and all that other stuff. But man, it's treacherous out here. Like, and you would throw a house party at your crib and never know like that this girl is cool with Big Something or the nigga, the head nigga from Long Beach or the, you know what I'm saying, or the dirt bag that's from fucking down the street or whatever. Cause Hollywood is like the ghetto now, for real, for real. Like it's not like you can get a nigga can get from Crenshaw to Hollywood in 10 minutes, for real, 15 minutes. So it's like, man, you just gotta really protect yourself.
Yeah.
It pays off to be a Marriott Bond boy.
Nah, for real.
Yeah, no.
Client,
I don't care how you got to do it. Just make sure there's some cameras. Be in a hotel, for real.
Man, dude, you got a lot of just a lot of connections. Like you grew up in hip hop, and you have one of these things where we don't look at you, and it's not a bad thing, but we don't look at you as this young kid who's now like, it's just like, dude, you've always just been around. I remember you saying, you know, you got put on the ecstasy by, you know, Murder Inc.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's a real life story.
Like Jay-Z was trying to sign you. Like, give us a Jay-Z, like an interaction with Jay.
What was crazy, that was also at Luna Park. We was at that stuff, and this is like a real epic story. So like the club is ending. Jay-Z and Kobe Bryant and Dr. Dre, they're walking out the club. And like Luna Park used to have like some stairs that you know what I'm saying? And then as you walking down, so like Jay-Z is at the bottom of the stairs and I'm at the top of the stairs with my producer Bugs, who still works with Kanye to this day right now. This nigga Bugs like, hey yo Jay! And it was like a movie, like the whole shit stopped. And he was like, man, you ain't heard shit until you hear my shorty spit. And he was like, I'm saying, I don't know what you talking about. Break through the crowd. Blah, 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 blah. Went crazy for him. Now Dame is there. Exhibit is there. I'm in a cypher with Exhibit and this, that, and the third or whatever. Snap. And that's how like I met Jay. And then from there, shit, my next time seeing him was walking into the Rockefeller office. And he knew exactly where I was. Right there. Yeah, I remember. And that's how that relationship materialized. Wow.
So you can still pen rap songs like it's nothing.
Yeah, I do it all the time. These rap hooks, these stuff that we doing with rappers, they come. I just told you, me and Jeremiah wrote Big Sean Bounce Back Up. So they coming with hooks. A rapper will take a hook. It's not taboo for you to take a hook, for real, for real. Like I'm not sitting there saying I'm writing people raps,
I get it,
even though it has happened before. Yeah. But man, you know, shit.
So you just have a library full of hits.
Yeah.
You just push play, be like, oh, you want Jeremiah? Oh, who you want Ty?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand how important that is? To have a song with a hook already on it?
A catalog.
With a feature, though.
Yes.
He got the feature hook already. Yeah. You just got to do
I did so many songs with Blue since that time. I can pull up. You want a Blue song? All right, cool. Pull it up. I got, like, you literally can just be like, all right, who you want to work with? Oh, okay, man, shit. I got the whole game in my laptop.
Have you ever given out a song that somebody else wanted and you forgot that you gave? You know what I mean? Like somebody.
Yeah, all the time, but it ain't your song until I'm paid. Unless we got like a real deal relationship like that. Like, and I'm really into your project. If this like a one-off thing, you can't just like, if you want it that bad, then you gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
And shit, we'll be good.
But how many times has it been like somebody say, I saw you in the studio with Neo. So what happens if you got a Neo song, it didn't place on his album, but you like, all right, this is Neo. He wrote it. I wrote it with him. It's up for sale.
Hell yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
that's how I got a clip of everybody's shit. Like, I mean, well, me, Ty, and Jeremiah, we eternal with this shit. Like, we got so many records. Like, I could put out 5 albums on both of them niggas right now just on my laptop. But yeah, it's really like that. And shout out to Neo. Like, I'm on Neo's album too, man. We got 2 songs. It's crazy.
Who has called you? Surprised that they called you? Like, what artist you be like, you serious? You want to work with me? You ever had that moment?
Nah.
Like Beyonce.
We don't talk about that. You can't talk about that.
Wait.
You can't talk about
what?
We don't talk about B. You can't talk about B until it happens. Yeah. You know it's a list. It's like there is a list. It's Hov, B, Rihanna.
Yeah. I love Rihanna. Did you think you can work with Rihanna without being attracted to her?
Yeah.
I couldn't. I'm sorry.
I don't date women that I work with. I learned that lesson a long time ago. Don't shit where you eat.
It's Rihanna though.
No, it's about the money, Fuzz.
I hear you about the money, but it's Rihanna though, bro.
He got
Fuzz. Even more reason for you to fall back. And if it's supposed to happen, it's gonna happen.
You know what I'm saying? I have a crush on Rihanna. I keep it 100.
The world does.
If you get a
she's sexy and she smokes.
If you make $600,000 off of a bounce back, with Big Sean.
Yes.
How much money do you think would be? And this is no disrespect to Big
How
Sean.
much
We
would
love
it be
Big
to
Sean.
the other?
Yeah, because it's over $1 million with
That's
Big
what
Sean
I'm
on
saying.
that record, man. Shout out
Right.
to Sean.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if you give something to Rihanna who the world hasn't heard from in 5 years, and you mess it up because you want to hit on
Let me
her.
tell you what you got to do, Fuzz, in them situation, right?
Wear 2 pair of underwear to the studio.
Nope. This is what really you gotta get in your mind state that stop thinking with your dick.
It's a work.
Thank you.
Because you're gonna always come up short. So if you get in a position, you get in the room, you want to be friends with this person. You want the next album cycle to come around and her to feel like, man, your energy was so special last time that she has to have you around, and it has to materialize like that or whatever. That's kind of how me and Nicki Minaj situation happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go to see my guy Sounds. He working for Esther Dean or whatever in a studio called Glenwood in Burbank. I mean in Glendale. My bro was like, man, Nicki Minaj in the other room. I'm like, what? I just did a demo at Mike Caron's studio. I named it Nicki and Hitmaka. I did it like probably 2 days prior.
Not knowing that you was gonna bump into it.
No, and not at all. And shit, I sent my guy over there. I'm like, man, go get her, cause I want to play her some shit. And he went over there, and then they were like, shit, she'll let you come through in about 15 minutes. Came and got me, pressed play. Kept playing shit. She was going crazy. It was a cool vibe. And then after I was done playing and we were like really vibing, she was like, yo, like, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy you here because I was kind of fucking with you from this song and she played my song, The Business. And it didn't really resonate to me until later that evening when I left the studio. I was like, oh shit. The Business was out before Nicki Minaj was Nicki Minaj.
So she was really
so she probably heard that record and really rocked with that record from before I even, you know what I'm saying? Before she popped up and turned into the queen of fucking rap. So I mean, that just turned the situation crazy, and she really put her arm around me and just gave me her studio. And then we looked up and I ended up doing like 6 records on a Pink Print album. And you know, like that time really groomed me and like put me in a position where I'm at too. And I'm forever thankful.
So, but you have seen people where artists have been, there's a terminology called fucking for tracks, where it fucked up the business.
Yeah, but that's young. That's like up and coming people. That ain't like people that's already established that got some money. Like them people could work with whoever they want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's really a privilege and to be able to be a part of a Nicki Minaj project, a Rihanna project, Jay-Z, a Beyonce. It's royalty. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and when you get in them spaces, you really just want to shut the fuck up and just do your work and then get up out of there and then turn up out there. Yeah, and then hopefully you get a relationship like how I once had with Nicki or whatever, to where like they just want you around even if you're not working. Like she would just want me there, and like we had a real good friendship. You know what I'm saying? So shit, God bless the next writer and producer that get with Rihanna or something like that, because you gonna kill it.
Yeah,
James
so
Fauntleroy, that's he's in that lane.
Well, he's a legend himself already. He don't have to write another song in his life.
Yeah, so do you have a folder on certain artists like, all right, I think Nicki need to go this way on the next album. I got some joints.
You don't tell them what you think you need. They need to go in there. You just go in there and play your best shit, and hopefully they like it.
Then you create from there.
And then once you in a groove, then you can kind of work yourself in it, like throwing ideas around. Don't no up and coming producers get around in those situations and then be like, don't Kanye yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye, he might have, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, like he was very like ambitious to tell a motherfucker like, no, I think you should do this. Just fall back. If you really got heat, just press play and you ain't got to say shit.
Yeah.
Sheesh. His pen game is not like that's a big deal, bro.
So
he's having fun. I seen him have fun in the studio, but it's work.
But the thing is though, look, like even like the Nicki Minaj era and all that other stuff, when I did that, like that was in them days of me doing like all the demos. You know what I'm saying? Like I did every demo on that, whether it was for her to sing it or somebody else to sing it. It was just me and her and Big Juice in the studio, her engineer, with the exception of Jeremiah, you know what I'm saying, at some points as well.
I remember seeing Berg here at Paramount, the other side is where we're at, and you called me into the studio just to play demos, but I'm like, they sound like they were already produced without the, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's why people like working with me, because I'm coming and I'm pressing play, and I'm not. When people work with me, I don't play beats or I don't fucking do that. It's already done. I'm coming. Here go your single. Press play. Yo, I think this would be a single. Jeremiah already on it. Ty already on it. Oh, you want to get Chris Brown? I bet. And we gonna get him on it. And the songs will already be done.
Wow.
Like no record y'all heard is really like from scratch with me and the artist. Like it's you come, I press play, you do the songs, and then shit they pay, and you got a single.
I mean, but is it hard for you to ever jump on somebody's song? Has anybody ever asked you to jump on as a feature?
Yeah, but I'll never rap again in my life. For what?
When'd you make that decision?
Long time ago. When niggas stopped wanting it from me. You got to do that. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I learned that from the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be 1 foot in the streets thinking you finna do something over here, whatever. Like, I made a conscious effort and conscious decision. Like, I'm never doing this again.
All right, so, but the video shoot we were out at, that's your project.
Yeah. I'm never rapping on my project, ever. It's too much fun not to. Like,
so you had more fun not.
Yeah, that shit is fly. Like, I don't gotta go like tour and do nothing. Like, you gotta go put in a lot of work. I done been an artist before, so you mean to tell me all I gotta do is collect one of these songs and put all these people on it, and I don't have to do the leg work, and especially in this shit, like I ain't gotta go tour, I ain't gotta do nothing. Like, that shit is fly. I'm putting out songs cause I can.
Right.
It ain't even like I'm not. This ain't taken away from my day job. Like, man, everything shuts down. I'm working on my project. Can't none of y'all get no songs. Like, I don't care about none of that shit. It could be my next single. If it's the right artist, you can have it.
Yeah.
What's the name of the label so everybody knows?
Make a Sound Records is me and Chris Sean. We started our own label together, and we have a great team. Tiffany, Billy J. We have a slew of artists that are really dope. Journey, Rocky, Neek Bucks, Ivory Scott. And shit, myself. I guess Hitmakers don't make it sound too and shit. And shout out to the Block Boys. That's our other young artists that we have and shit. We just moving.
That's crazy.
And you got artists at different other label homes. And
Journey is signed to Republic.
That's the lady from she's from the Bay.
She's from here.
Yeah,
LA.
she's tall.
Yeah. Rocky is from Jersey, and she signed to Empire through my situation. Neek Bucks has several different offers. I mean, I can get a deal with anybody. Like, for real. I ain't even like trying to be on that type of time.
Move around.
Yeah.
You see what he said? Type of time.
Yeah.
Little Philly thing. You know, I used to live in Philly.
Nah, for sure. That's in me. 12th and Loudon, all that shit.
Yeah. Talk about it. Like you come up, you've seen so much.
Yeah.
Like what your time in Philly? Like, what did that do for you? Like, what
man,
piece
it's rough,
of it?
man. That shit taught me, you know what I'm saying? Like, just a whole different lifestyle. Cause you know, like, it's certain places, like, if you drop a nigga from Philly in LA, it's gonna be like what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. So it's those certain places that just have their own distinct thing about them. Like, and I would say y'all, Philly, Baltimore, everybody got their own little slang, their own how they kicking flavor, whatever. So like, but Philly was just a jungle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to be around, like, but I stayed around Jay and Troy. Like, I remember their office downtown. Man, it was my guys. Like, man, they really put their arm around me and shit. Philly, if we gotta be around him and they in Philly, shit, I'm in Philly.
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, it's been through a lot, man.
Yo, he has
like a lot of this that you see, right?
Yeah,
you don't see the success story, right? Like, if you right now, from you skipping high school and doing all this different stuff and getting into the crazy rap industry, this is a written story. Like, oh, yo, and then he became an exec and did all like that.
This is crazy. Like, yo, my life.
You wanted it though. You really willed it. Like, he really wanted it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I ain't had no plan Bs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was I gonna do? Go back and run my family business? Like, yeah, I could have been straight doing that, but it's just like,
you wouldn't have been happy doing it.
Hell no. I'd rather than die than do that, for real.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself retiring at a certain age?
Early, but I don't think it's retiring or whatever. Like,
you having fun, bro.
Yeah, I'm a music man. Like, you want to know, it's so, like, come on, bro. Like, the game basically turned their back on me now. I can go get anybody a deal. I'm putting out my single. My first single went gold, about to go platinum. I put Thought Box. I put all them girls on it. This next single, this shit gonna move at radio. It's just like, man, like, sky's the limit. Yeah. Like, I'm like, what's so crazy is, like, on my journey to becoming an executive, like, I just started having the Big Sean bounce backs, and I had a few different records that was bubbling, and I went and did Breakfast Club. And I really went up there and spoke it to existence. Like, they were like, so what's up? What's next for you? And I'm like, man, you know, these labels been hollering at me. You know what I'm saying? They want me to be executive up there. They know I got the formula. They know I know how to blah, 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 blah. I just said it. Wasn't nobody trying to holler at me.
You said it.
Yes, I just threw it out there as bait. So from there, I came back to LA, and Ryan Press is my mentor, of course.
Shout out to Ryan,
and
Come on, Philly. What's up, Ryan?
Yeah.
Let's stop with that, man. Stop, because you do that all the time,
I'm just saying,
you always do this 215.
Nah, Philly heavy. They heavy in my career.
But not as heavy as LA.
Nah,
we love LA.
Really.
I'm just trying to compare it.
I'm just saying.
I love Philly.
Me and Ryan played on the same little league football team.
Y'all roll back like.
I remember when Ryan Press was the producer for Freeway, and we all used to be at Patti LaBelle
Ryan
studio.
used to be a producer.
Chad West.
Ryan Press.
Chad West, and then he would manage.
Really?
And he be inputting.
Go ahead, Ryan.
We was in Patti LaBelle studio. I forget the name of that shit. That was in Philly or whatever. We used to be working there. Yeah.
So shit. What's next then?
You said you were on the Breakfast Club. You
said
that
So I just said it. Yeah, I didn't. Nobody. Yeah. So I came back and
Start getting offers.
I spoke. Well, from there we did Chris Brown Party featuring Usher and Gucci Mane, and then fucking shit just started taking off. Like this studio kind of like sparked my career. Shout out to Jay Grand, who's another A&R at RCA Records. He would just like give us a studio, put his car down, let us order katsuya, sushi, and all type of shit. Get us liquor. Like he a good dude. So from there, I started having this success, and I had a conversation with Ryan. I'm like, yo, like nigga, like I seen it all. Like I'm like the next Irv Gotti, Puff Daddy. Like I'm really that energy, and he set it up for me to meet Craig Kalman. I went and met Craig Kalman.
At Atlantic.
I sold Craig Kalman. That meeting was real fast.
He's a real
quick.
music guy too, though.
Yeah. I did this. This how I was raised. This what I see myself as. This is what cloth I'm cut from, and this is what I'm trying to do for y'all or whatever. And then he was just like, let's do it. And then from there, you gotta go see Julie. You know what I'm saying? And I already knew Julie because I was with DMX at Def Jam. And then shit.
Kaiser already at Def Jam.
Yeah, I already knew Kaiser. I already knew them. And shit, they gave me the gig. I became the vice president in 2017.
Shout out to Ryan. Man, that's crazy.
And then I ran it up. Then it was over. I did I got Meek first, #1 with Dangerous at radio. I did A Boogie, Look Back at It. I'm talking about a slew of just shit, like for real. And Atlantic really like powered me up. And like that same studio where I told you I seen Nicki Minaj at, they bought me a room in that studio. And that's how my run became. Yeah. And Nicki was still over there recording, doing it, and now I have my own spot.
So what is next then? We're at Empire. Shout out to Ghazi. Shout out to Nima, team over there, Tina Davis.
Ownership, turning this shit up, you know what I'm saying? Turning Empire up. It's just really honestly like just making my business partners look good in every opportunity I can, or anybody that's in business with me at any level. My whole goal is just to make people look good so I can keep, you know what I'm saying, getting the bags and keep everybody, because if you keep the people that's connecting the dots, like the connector in a good space, and like he goes and vouch for you and you deliver it exactly the way you're supposed to, then that sets a rapport and sets a standard for what's really going on, and people come back to you based off that. And then ultimately, like I said in them interviews, like I'm going to be bigger than Craig Kalman. I'm going to be bigger than LA. I'm going to be bigger. I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. It's just that I learned the game from them, so I aspire to. I have to be bigger. I'm the next. You know, and that's the vibes.
What does Diddy say to you? You know what I mean? I know he's seeing your run. What's the conversation? I know you've been like, yo, I'm doing what he did, but you know what I mean? Like,
no, they see that. I say that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like I did. Christian has a new single that's about to come out. His son, you know what I'm saying, and you know I go and ask Diddy for advice sometimes, but I just think that we too close. Like I be saying that shit too much. Like I was calling myself Puff Maker. I'm the Puff Daddy of this motherfucker. I was changing names on niggas. I'm like, yo, I'm this, I'm that. His sons follow me on the gram. Niggas see that shit or whatever. So I think he's still very much like, you know, a super competitive guy himself. Yeah. So to see me come and do it or whatever, like,
yeah, he see what it is.
And we cool. It's a respect, you know what I'm saying? But
Diddy's cool as a motherfucker.
We don't have the full embrace. Like it ain't like I'm hanging out with him drinking Ciroc with Soulja Boy and fucking Ray J. No, but I mean, he know what I do. He see me.
Yeah. Listen,
yo, he just dropped some
good vibes, man.
Bruh.
All right, Berg.
We just want to thank you, bro. This was
thank you, bro.
It was a lot that we learned. I'm sure,
but somebody has to be inspired by listening to this story.
I hope so.
Me?
Yeah,
I hope so.
And I like how he said he don't go outside because I'm like, see, that's what I don't.
I don't go outside. I network. I have to network.
No,
I know. You be outside.
He be at them events.
outside. He be at them events, man.
Look out. This is Fuzz's
this is
Dave Chappelle mask.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay safe, but be funny.
Yeah,
I feel you. But look,
shout out to Chappelle.
Hitmaka, thank you, bro.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all.
This was great, Fuzz.
He's gonna produce our podcast one day and make it a hit.
Whatever.
No, I mean
it's a different. I want him.
He gonna get us in these in these buildings.
Nah, for sure.
So we can sell our. It's a whole never mind.
Yeah,
all right, Hitmaka. We thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Follow us FAQ Podcast on YouTube, FAQ Podcast on Instagram.
Yeah.
Subscribe, comment. If you like you had to love this episode.
Had to be inspired.
Golly, this dude's not even 40 yet.
No, sir.
Young motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Crazy. We'll see y'all next time.